All right, folks, the Morphy Thompson match continues. There was 3 wins by both sides, and unfortunately, if you don't remember, I'll reread this. It says 5 wins to either side were to settle the match. The scores of 6 games only have been preserved, with the ending of one of the others. Okay, so what ended up happening was, we played through the 6 games. They're tied up 3-3 now. 2 other games were lost. One was a win by Morphy, the other was a draw. And then there's this game where only the ending, they only have it up to here for whatever reason. It's such a beautiful ending. Maybe it was published as just an ending somewhere and they retained it, but the actual full game on how they reached this position has been lost over the years. Okay, so I would have loved to see it, how they got to this point. Again, Morphy given night odds, and they reached this position. And, well, all we can do is just go from here, right? So, Morphy's move, with an exclamation point, Shredder found it. Now, let me do this. Let me just turn the engine off. He goes here, and he pins the knight. Okay, he pins the knight. Now, let's see what the old masters say. The only move to save the game. Look at this, folks. Pawn to h7. Well, then the knight takes out the rook. And now you can't go in because the knight is defending that square, right? So that's an obvious. Okay, so when he takes, White's got no other choice but to destroy the knight and then hopefully push his pawn. But I'm sure you can see the move. Bishop to c2 check. And now when the king moves, well, the bishop sacks himself for the pawn, and there you go. The a-pawn runs for a touchdown into the end zone. Look, there it is. No way can the king catch him, and black wins, right? Okay. So there you go. So it looks deceiving. It looks like White's gonna do it, right? Boom, boom, with the check. There it is. So close, but yet so far. All right, now, so Morphy pinning the knight. Okay, so Thompson takes the rook. All right, now White was threatening to double up. Just let's make a move, right? He's threatening to double up on that knight, and now it would be, it would be lost. Matter of fact, I think, let's see, make sure, what would Shredder do? Maybe just take it. Yeah, he would take it. And now there's no check by the bishop, the black bishop. He'll make it to h8. The pawn's gonna queen on that dark square, and the bishop's no use, right? He can't stop him now in any way. So it would just end up being a fight like this. But I think White easily wins this. He'll pick off the pawns. There's a check, right? Here we go. He's going to put pressure on this one so it can't advance to the dark squares. And he's going to pin the b pawn so it can't advance. Okay, now the king's in front of it, so that pawn can't advance. Let's just follow this through here. What's he going to do, right? Here we go. We check this way. He's going to give him that pawn, really? Just give it to him. If he goes here to try to protect it, here comes the king on the dark. Notice the white king has to march over on the dark squares. Now he's threatening mate. Queen to a8 would be mate. Or he stops that. He's going to have to protect that one, huh? I think with the check, let's see what he's threatening here. For instance, if it goes there, we get a check, king to the back rank, and then king up, and it's going to be mate, right? We're threatening mate. If he was to even go here, this threatens mate. The king can't come over. We're threatening queen check on c7, and then queen down. Matter of fact, let's see. Look. King over, it's going to be mate anyway. Oh, you could do it that way. I was looking at this. Back rank mate, It's an extra move. But okay. So let's see, if he does this, check, he goes up, and we take the pawn, and now in the same way we're threatening mate, right? I mean, isn't this mate right here? There you go. We could go here. Dark squares, folks. Dark squares, right? So this is really no challenge. The queen against the bishop, 2 pawns is, not much black could do. So that would win. Yeah, he would. If he was to push a pawn, you just sack the rook for the knight, and then there's no way to stop the pawn going in. Okay. So, the old masters, right? After Thompson takes here, what they recommend, black could have drawn with bishop to c2. If now king to f6, piling up on the rook, right? Because again, now if you sack, the bishop's on that diagonal. He'll sack himself, and we got a similar scenario. Whether it's this one or this one, they both make it, right? So now you don't sack the rook for the knight. You apply more pressure to that knight. You pin it, right? I mean, it's pinned, and now you add the pressure with the king going to f6. So now all they can do is king over to try to help stop this pawn, okay? And they give this. We take. The rook's dead. We got to take it while we can. So we win the knight. He moves over. Okay, we win a pawn. He pushes this pawn to save that guy. And we could harass. This is what the old masters give. Harass the bishop. He moves to, they give bishop to d3. And they give pawn check, and now king in the corner. And this they're saying is a draw, that black could draw. Now, Shredder's giving a little advantage to white. I don't know, it's not enough, because look, if he checks here, he destroys the pawn, he attacks here, but he's always, he can't mate him. Like, there's no way. See, the situation that arises is that he's in the dark square corner, so he could always block with his bishop. See, if you go and attack the bishop right here, and you're threatening, well, let's see, the bishop comes back here. Now, if you try to, throw a mate, I mean, he always blocks it, see? And let's say, okay, you go here, he's got these pawn moves, but it really doesn't matter. Even when you end up destroy the pawn, it would be a stalemate scenario. You see, like, say you come here, all right, he moves, right? And now if you were to check again, oh wait, you can't check there. All right, you harass the bishop. Oh no, you can't do that. Hey, I'm falling for all these traps. Look at this, I'm falling here. This would be a trap because he checked. I mean, and then it's a draw anyway. You can't, black can't win. But, okay, that's a mistake. So, all right, you go here, you're threatening to come down, right? You're threatening to mate, but there is nothing here, because when you check, my point being is he blocks, and, it's stalemate. If you go this way, there it is. It's just stalemate. You try to burn a tempo, black can't move. The bishop it can't move either because it's pinned. It's an illegal move, and the black king can't go anywhere. Now, if you just, like, if the king goes here, you let the black king out, and there you go. It's going to be a draw. If this is different, this would be a different scenario. If on the check, for instance, right? I'll do it. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it instead. I'm going to set up the position. Let's see. Wait. I can't even do it now. Let's do this. We're going to start the position. Okay. Let's see. Clear board. Right. We have a position where the king is here, but you have a dark square bishop, right? And I know we looked at this before. Let me just set it up, okay? So, obviously, I'll tell you what, and we'll put the black king here instead, okay? So there you go. Here's the position, right? So now, we'll set this up, white to move. Okay, we're good. Here we go. If we have a dark square bishop and your king is, the black king is on a dark square corner, you give the check, he blocks, right? Now you just burn a tempo and black still has a move. See? Let me do this. Okay. Black still has a move. So he is forced. He can't come up because of the white king. And the black bishop can't move because it's pinned. So he's forced to make the only move that's legal. Even though it loses. There you go. Look, because now he has to abandon the protection of his own bishop. And there you go. See, that's if your king and bishop are the same. If your king is in the corner, you have to draw, you have to have a bishop of the opposite color. If it's the same color, you end up like this. You know, you can end up like this. When you're in the corner and it's no good, you know, you're going to have to abandon that bishop and then it's undefended and there you go, you get mated. But you see the difference in this scenario, right? Let's go back. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, here you go. The bishop here, let's say if he's on, okay, we got to move the king, right? We got to move the king in the corner here. And you got to have a bishop, well, let's just say here, right? And it's white to move again. Let's just say black attacked the rook. Okay, here he goes. He goes down for the check. And there you go. See the difference? He blocks. And now it's a stalemate because black cannot move at this moment. So if he goes here, it's stalemate. If he just tries to burn a tempo like we did in the other example by just sliding the rook over, right? That's it, stalemate. So there's the difference. That's the end game. So now let's go. I got to get our position again that we did have. Let's see, rook here, king, right? Pawn there, king here, bishop down here, knight, and two pawns, queenside pawns. Okay, and it's white to move. White to move. Okay, so we're going to bring it back to the actual game. And here you go. You got the pin. And then, okay, so they ended up saying if now black could have drawn with bishop to c2, and then when we pile up on the pin and the king starts making a run for the corner because he knows that pawn's going to be trouble now, so he moves over again. He takes the pawn. Black saves the a pawn at least, and because if you attack it, he's going to push it. He can push it up to protect it, right? Or can he? Oh, look, if he pushes it up, I guess they can trade. Yeah, they can trade pawns, really. But, all right, instead of going crazy about everything, let's say they give king, let's see, they give, let's see, it's white's move, right? Rook takes pawn to a5. And then, the white goes after the bishop. He harasses the bishop. That's what the old maths is given. He goes to d3, and then you get the check, and he's in the corner. All right. And then that's all they give, etc. So they're claiming black could draw here, and I guess he can. I mean, once they destroy the pawn, I mean, if he goes after this one, right, he takes that one, you take this one, and there you go. You got a rook and bishop ending where we have the scenario we were talking about. I mean, for instance, if checks this way, he goes over, go after the bishop. You can't really. Let's see, which way does he go? Oh, if he was to go here, you see what happens? You attack, you threaten mate. It's a double attack. You threaten mate and the bishop. And because you're going to mate on a dark square, look at what happens. You go here. Okay, he attacks the rook. You check. He goes here, and what do we have, folks? The technique of burning the tempo. Goes there, and now the bishop can't move. If you could set this type of position up, you'll remember, oh, I could burn a tempo with the rook, and the king has to abandon that bishop because he can't come up because of your king. So when he moves, the only legal move is king g8, and there you go. You take it. You see that? And now look, you burn a tempo again, and the only legal move is here, and then you got him, mate, right? Okay. So there's a couple of tricks there, but I guess that would be a blunder. I made let's see how I attacked the bishop. You gotta, if you're on the defending side with the bishop, you gotta watch scenarios like that. You gotta make sure you don't fall into the trap. Now I made the blunder of with the check if the king goes that way, but obviously Shredder knows better. He goes there, and you know, there you go, right? Goes there. If you try to set the mate up, he can check you. See, he can check you. So it really doesn't work. So what are you gonna do? I don't go here. He's got to move over. We're setting up a mate. So there you go, right? He moves over, and this is a draw, folks. It's a draw. Dangerous for black in many ways, but if he plays correctly, he could hold the draw. So that's what the old masters were referring to. You could play around with that rook versus bishop ending. As long as your king is in the opposite color corner of your bishop, you should be okay. And heck, I think if you're not even in a corner, it's better for you. You could run around. And I don't know if the side with the rook could force you to the corner, but he just can't. He can't mate you if you're in the wrong corner. All right. So anyway, that's what they were referring to. Now they say after this, okay, Thompson didn't play this. He took the rook, and that is, it's just, they leave it at this. Look, pawn to h7 and wins, because there's nothing black can do. For instance, if he tries to check, the king comes up with a double attack, right? Okay, and what could he's gonna queen next, right? He's gonna queen next. There you go. Okay, so that doesn't work. And if king to knight 3, right? Well, now we can take, and because the bishop is here, he can't hit him with a check. He can't hit him with a check like we seen down from here. You check from here, and then you sack the bishop for the pawn. But he's right here. He can't do it. If he tries to check, he's in striking distance of the enemy king. So, and this guy's too far away. He makes it in. What are you gonna do? So, amazing, right? Like, by grabbing this rook, now it allows h7. Okay, so yeah, let's see, wait here. Let's see what did he say? And if knight, if knight here takes, what are you gonna do? And if knight to knight 3, knight, bishop to bishop 2 check. If you check here, okay, bishop to f7 check, then the king, the king just goes here, right? Can't the king just go here? I guess it doesn't matter. You win anyway, because the pawn's going on a dark square, right? So now whatever black does, right? Here it is. He goes in and he queens. Okay, so that's no good. All right, now the amazing thing about this, though, is when you go over this with Shredder, let's see. Okay, when you go over it with shredders, here's what ends up happening. You go here, he takes, right? You go in, hurrah, the pawn's going to go in. Now, shredder decides to move the king. All right, you get your queen. And this is where it said, you know, on this move right here, folks, h7 and wins. Okay, h7 and wins. Anyone can clearly see that the pawn's going in. It's going to queen on h8. But there's still a fight, because when you go into queen, Shredder puts up a fight now, and there's some very interesting, we call them what do we call them? I'm drawing a blank here. Fortresses. Okay, I see what he's trying to do. In endgames, you get situations where you have a fortress position where, in this case, the white side is clearly winning in terms of material, but the defense could set up a way so that checkmate can be averted. You can't crack through the defense. And there's no situation where white could sacrifice the queen to get a winning endgame. Okay, if he basically loses his queen here, even if he wins the two minor pieces and a pawn, for instance, or both pawns, I mean, there's nothing left, right? So here's what Shredder tries to set up. Now, the interesting thing to take note is black has the light square bishop, so white usually tries to attack on the dark squares where he's vulnerable. White is now threatening right at this moment on the next move, queen to g7, or just to get on this rank, to pin that knight, which the king attacks already, and there's no way for the bishop to help defend. So that piece would be lost. You see that? And the whole time, right, with king up, he's attacking the knight. He's hoping to add the queen to pin it and then win it. Okay, so scenarios like that. Try to win that knight on the dark squares. But, you know, black could set up a position where a fortress where all his pieces protect one another, and the white king can't worm his way in, infiltrate the fortress, so that he could assist the queen in delivering checkmate. Because as you know, the queen can't really checkmate the king alone, right? He needs someone to protect her when she gives the final blow in most scenarios. As long as black doesn't put his own pieces in the way, you know? So, okay, here we go. Now, look at this. The knight's defending the bishop. The king is defending the knight. Okay, so here we go. Look at this. See? He pushes the pawn, right? Now, the knight is defending everybody. You see that? The knight is defending everybody. All right, fine. Here we go. How can we do this? Here we go. We come in, right? Okay, he retreats to b7 now. He's in that little corner. All right, the king's going to try to come in on the dark squares, right? All right, he moves the bishop over here. He wants to do that. Now, if you could split the defense, that bishop's dangling out there. The queen would love to give a check in a way, for instance, like, you know, from this rank and then picking up the bishop. So black would have to watch out for the queen forks. Okay. Here comes the king on the dark squares, like I said. All right, now if he moves this, he's just sacking it, I guess. But all right, bishop is protecting the pawn protects the bishop. All right, we're threatening king to d6, winning the knight. Dark squares, right? We pin it, then we try to win it with king to d6. All right, he's got to get out of that pin to survive, right? All right, we give the check. Here we go. He's forced him back. Where's that knight? Notice the knight only has, well, he could actually go here, right? But then we're starting to threaten the black king. Matter of fact, if he goes there, all right, but anyway, there's so many scenarios that could crop up. But at this point, see, if black goes here, this wins the knight. So that's what he's got to watch now. The bishop. If the bishop goes here, that's a losing move. We could go down here and check, right? And then we would win the bishop. All right, now we got a one game. Because without the assistance of the bishop, I think the knight alone can't do it. So I fought Shredder a few times like this, and I didn't have. This looks like he's pressured. Look, now I'm going to win the A pawn. Okay, and we split the defense. The king's all by himself. Look, we're threatening mate on C7. He has a knight check. Now we're here. And we're again threatening queen C7 or queen A8 mate. So he's going to have to sack the bishop to stop us for now. Well, he can't even check from here because our queen covers it. So he's got to sack the bishop. So we were able to infiltrate this time, split the defense. But I got to show you the craziest scenario that, I don't know, the way it turned out last time when I fought Shredder in this position. I'm going to try to give you the scenario. I'll tell you what, since we did it before last time, let's see. I'll try to do it again. Watch this. Here's what happened in a nutshell, right? All right, folks, here's the position I was referring to. What ended up happening in my fight against Shredder was very interesting, and I couldn't help. I had to show this to you. Now, I can't recreate it. I don't know how it got there, but what happened was I used my king to infiltrate on the dark squares. I thought I was going to checkmate him. He was forced to advance his pawns to survive, to get out of it. And my queen picked off the pawns. And we succeeded in smoking out the black king, and I thought we had him. You know, I thought this was just the next step was to split the pieces of, you know, split the defense, and we'd win one of those minor pieces, and that would be it. But I don't know if you can notice something here that I didn't catch. Look at this. Look at the squares that the black pieces control. The bishop controls these. I'll mark them with black pawns, right? And the knight controls these key squares, right? So my king can't get out. My king can't get out of there to help assist my queen. You know, so I can't believe this. This is amazing stuff. I mean, it's crazy. So now, look, if I set the game up, right, to fight it's white to move, okay? I mean, all right, what am I going to do? I don't know. With the lone queen, can I split the defense and win one of these minor pieces? Because all he has to do is protect that with his king, like just roam around, and I mean we can't. Let's see, we can't even check. The knight covers those squares. So okay, he's repositioning. I mean, if I try to sneak my king out somehow, I mean, I can't even do it. There's no way to get my king out, right? I put pressure on the bishop, I guess. I don't know. He moves back and forth, right? Okay, we go here. He can go there. Alrighty, wait a minute now. He goes here. King up. Alright, he can't. My king, the black king can't go here because of my queen, and he can't go to these squares because of my king. He can't go here because of my queen. So he goes up. I guess we put pressure on the bishop, right? Just got to watch those knight forks also. That's another thing. But we're okay. So the bishop, where's the bishop go? Okay, wait a minute now. Do we win one of these? If he goes here, right? Oh, we can't check there because of the knight. We would win the bishop, but we can't because of the knight. Okay, so wait a minute. Is he running out of options? I guess maybe not. Wait, he goes there. Can we pin? Can we pin? If we pin, he comes up. Oh, no, we can't. Knight covers that square, damn it. We go down here. I guess we're threatening a queen check on c2. Right? Okay, we go here this way. This would be a mistake to block it, because now we could come out and we win the knight. See, on the dark squares again, folks. All right. So, all right, now he wants to... I don't know, we're getting away. Wait, we're getting away from the bishop. He comes here. The black bishop's undefended. All right, he checks here. He goes back. And are we really just spinning our wheels here? Oh, wait. Let's see. We go here, check. He's got a block. If he goes here, we win the bishop, right? So he's got a block. Now we split the defense in a way. The bishop's still hanging over there. And not only that, my king could come out. My king could get out of here. Let's see, what's this do? A check. You attack. At least we're getting out of the cage, folks. I mean, if white can win, it might be in like 100 moves, you know? All right, knight protects the bishop. He's attacking our queen. We can't sack. This is what I was talking about. What does it matter? It's a draw, right? So white's playing to try to win. Are we just spinning our wheels, grandmasters? I don't know. Are we? What's to come here? What do we do? The knight protects the bishop. Check here. Put pressure on the knight. Yeah, so it looks to me like black can just hang in there. We're threatening to apply a pin to the knight. He moves the knight. Now they're getting in the corner. That doesn't look good. Something tells me that's not the right thing to do here. But then again, all right, we got... he's got the knight covering dark squares, the bishop covering light squares, but I think being in the corner, he's running out of options here. He's got to protect the knight, right? Okay, so wait a minute. He can't come in. I don't know. This is what he's saying to do here. Oh, that's a mistake. Let's see, the knight can't... The knight, if he goes here... What if he goes here? We go over. Go back, we give the check. King down. Check, we win the bishop. There it is. And that's just, now it's just a matter of time. The king can't move. Knight comes up. Now, if you go here, he just gives the check again. So you got to go. Oh, okay. You can go there. He gives the check, which is the only move. And now we're going to mate him on c2, right? Queen c2 would be mate, but he blocks. It's the only move, and now we're going to get him like this. See? There we go. All right. So. That was long, and who knows, folks? I don't know. Did black, step into it there? Did he not play the best moves? But I'll tell you, that's wild. So, I mean, my point is this. Let's see. Let me Let me do this again now. I'll give us our position and we'll conclude. I mean, king here, rook, pawn, king here, knight, 2 pawns, and a bishop. Well, folks, on this, right, whoops. Let's get this going, white to move. Okay. With this, and then he takes, right, pawn up, and they left it there. That's where they left it off, and wins. It's not so easy. It's not so easy. Room for, unless you're in training and you're a master, a grandmaster, and I guess you went over stuff like this, you know the technique. And maybe they did. Maybe Morphy, maybe, Thompson knew Morphy had the skills to finish him off even like this. But, heck, man, you're talking, what, another 100 moves? Right, so there you go. Maybe you play around with this with your friends. You hook up, at the chess club. You say, check this out. Can you beat me like this? And you take the black pieces, and I'll tell you, it could be very frustrating. Here he comes. Penetrating on the dark squares. That's the key that you have to try to do. And you got to try to split the defense. Because, see this? Look, he comes and checks. The knight's protecting the bishop. The king's protecting the knight. And the pawns help anchor, the minor pieces also. Look, he goes in the corner, right? Now, if the king goes in the corner, how does the black king step up, to assist? Here we go. Look, bishop protects the knight, right? Pawn protects the bishop. You can't. The knight protects mate on c7. See how it is? It's like crazy. Now maybe this is all black has to do, and now at this point, just don't move. Just toggle your is that the right word? Your king back and forth. Look, what are you gonna do? Maybe you're gonna work it to a7, right? So even if you were to come like this, I don't know. What are you going to do? Look at this one. Now you get him out. You block him, right? You block him. How can he get through here? Look, even like something like this, you check from the diagonal. There's still no mate here. The knight protects, right? So I don't know. I think black could just build this is called building a fortress. Oh, wait. Oh, I made a mistake. That would be a blunder. There you go. He comes in on, all right. So, there you go. You gotta watch. All right. So here you have to move the knight, I guess. You move the knight. Oh, he gives the check down here. All right. He has to block this way, right? Can he go over here? You go after what? What's he doing here? Is he cutting all my options? Oh, if I go here, it's mate, right? That's if I don't want to move my pieces. But if I'd have to go there, now it's pinned, and now he wins it on the dark square. See that? So again, maybe white could still use that queen to cut off the options of those black pieces until the king has to, pretty much give concessions, move somewhere where he doesn't want to. You go here. Oh, he's threatening b7. He comes up here. He blocks. He goes there. You go there. He goes here. You go there. There you go. Maybe that's the way to do it. Bishop just back and forth at that point. All right, you guys play around with it. It's definitely interesting, though. You got to admit, right? And for the last game that we have on record, it was just the ending. Morphy ended up taking this match. All right, he was down 3-0, if you remember, and he won 3 straight. And then he ended up, there was a draw and 2 more wins by Morphy, this being one of them. So there you go. That concludes, what game? Well, let me see something. In the book, they start off the next chapter is game 74, and the last complete game was 73. So they don't even count this as a game. They just put it as an ending. So it's like a little bonus, an end game bonus, right? We know about those. All right. So anyway, believe it or not, folks. So at this point, folks, that concludes part 1 of Morphy's Games of Chess. Okay? We're going to go into part 2, which will be consolation games, where Morphy played with another player, again, it's like teams, you know, hit Morphy and another chess player against 2-3 other people. You know, it's what's coming up in the next section. It's going to kick off part 2 of the book. So we got all the way through 73 games and this added ending. Okay, and now we're going to pick it up at game number 74. I'll tell you, it's been a long journey. It's been very hard for me. You know, I have a day job. I try to do this for the love of the game and try to share what I know. And believe it or not, it's really helping me a lot. I'm getting a lot better at this game just by going over these and trying to understand the positions and the key moments of the battle so I could give it to you as best I can. And it's really helped me a great deal. I hope it's helping you. You know, so I hope you continue watching, and you know, I'll try to make the next section in the book as best I can. And we're getting there, folks. We gotta remember, we got 300 games. 300. We just finished 73 and this little added bonus end game. So we'll pick it up at game number 74. All right. Thanks again for watching. Have a good night.